guys? It's Cole. Yeah. Alright, haven't talked about much DC. I know. If you know me, you know that Marvel's my main arena, and that I kind of have an embarrassing lack of knowledge and experience when it comes to DC, except for things when it comes to Batman. I think I'm pretty well versed in Batman and the stuff around him. But so far, my DC stuff has been limited to pretty much just Batman, and I remember that collection of Alan Moore stories in the DC universe. So I didn't have any Superman or anything like that. So this is about a character who, since about being reintroduced in 2004, I'd always thought maybe I would pick up her series, because I was always lacking a DC series. For a while I did pick up some Batman-related titles, like Batman, or Nightwing, but I haven't in years. Mostly I've just stuck to buying various Batman graphic novels. But anyway, that character is Supergirl. And this is where she's first brought back. This is in the series, the Batman-Superman series. This is the second arc, simply called Supergirl, and it's about her coming back. A little background on Supergirl. I don't really have the time, because if you know, or if you don't know, whatever, Supergirl has one of the most confusing and convoluted histories in comic books. Like, the Marvel equivalent might be Jean Grey, and I'd say Supergirl definitely wins as far as being confusing. She was first introduced around the late 50s, 58, 59 or so, just sort of as an experiment. DC was trying out things to see, sort of what worked and what didn't. And in sort of like a safe little story, they had Jimmy Olsen gain access to something to let him make wishes. One of the things he wished for was like a girl sort of equivalent of Superman, maybe to be his, I don't know, his companion or something like that. Obviously didn't read it, but the gist of it is, over the course of it, so this girl's wished into existence, girl with Superman-type powers. She tries to help Superman, but she sort of keeps bungling it, getting in his way, and then towards the end, something happens where she basically heroically sacrifices herself to save Superman, and she's dying, and Jimmy uses one of his remaining wishes to wish her out of existence, because I guess he feels bad. But anyway, I guess that tested pretty well. People responded to it, so what they did was they decided to bring in an actual Supergirl, a real one. And this is similar to the one we have now. Her name was Zor-el, and she was supposed to be Superman's cousin from Krypton, but from a different city, and also sent before it exploded, blah blah blah. She comes to Earth. She has a secret identity of Linda Lee Danvers. I always thought Danvers was kind of interesting because the Marvel character, Ms. Marvel, actually, her civilian name is Carol Danvers. I don't know. Yeah, so she's there throughout the 60s, and at one point she's sort of the lead character in adventure comics. In the 70s, she has a link to Legion of Superheroes, I believe, and her popularity is starting to wane a little bit. By the 80s, really. 1984, I saw the Supergirl movie, which I've seen, and it was a pretty fun movie, but yeah, I get why it was a complete disaster, and not anywhere close to successful like the Superman, at least the first couple Superman films were. So that was sort of the final straw. 1985 saw, of course, in DC, probably the most significant event in DC history, really, the Crisis of Infinite Earths, which is a whole realignment of the continuity. Quick little note here, I know I don't have a lot of time. And I'd just say, one of the reasons I like Marvel more than DC is, if you're not into comics, you probably won't understand, but I'm assuming, so at least some of you are, because you're here with me. And that's that, for continuity is, of course, a hard thing. It's a strange thing, you have characters existing over decades in real time, and all these changes and all these things, and it's confusing, and it's full of mistakes and things like that. I would just say, Marvel, for all its flaws, it's better. It's not a lot better, maybe, but to me it's better. It's easier. It's not easy, but it's easier. DC's is just a mess. And that's one of the reasons why they did this Crisis Infinite Earths. The whole idea was to reboot continuity and clean up a lot of things that had just gotten ridiculous over the years. One of them being Supergirl. So what they decided to do with her was they kill her off, for one thing, but then also it doesn't even really matter because of the way the reboot works, it just wipes her from existence. One of the reasons, of course, was that this was linked directly to Superman's own origin that they wanted to clean up and fix, because it had gotten a little muddy. Because one of the things was he was the sole survivor of this dead planet, Krypton. Well, Supergirl made up one of several, actually, other characters that had come from there, and suddenly his origin didn't seem so original after all. Okay, so yeah, jump ahead. So then new Supergirls are introduced in the wake of that, and they're really strange and weird. What do we got here? I made a few little notes. Yeah, so I forgot also Power Girl was also it was sort of the same idea. I don't know much about Earth 1, Earth 2, and that sort of thing, but the whole idea was Power Girl was her equivalent from the other Earth, whichever that one was, although, you know, there's obvious differences. Power Girl actually survived this whole retcon thing. They just changed her origin now so that she had some sort of Atlantean thing going on, like that's where she came from. I don't know. So now we've got, introduced by John Byrne, this purple alien shapeshifter thing that basically takes the form physically sort of resembling Lana Lang, and she's Supergirl. And then in the 90s, Peter David took that character and fused her with some Earth girl, and the idea there is became some sort of angelic character, some sort of Earth angel, I think is the term they use, and it's really weird. And so, and then there was some evil one that came from the future. I don't know if she was evil, but she was supposed to be a future daughter of Lois and Clark. I don't know. So anyway, by this time, of course, Supergirl's just a mess. And in the intro here, written by Jeph Loeb, who of course was the writer on this, he talks about how everything was a mess, and how in the back of his mind he always wanted to bring Supergirl back, and it turned out Dan DiDio, or however you say his name, editor, wanted the same thing too. And so then Dan brought us together and said, what do you think of bringing back Supergirl? And then he has this whole analogy about roller coasters, so I think it's kind of clunky, but whatever. We don't need brilliant writing in these intros. I think that's sort of the point. You often see writers go out of their way just to write in sort of a homespun, sort of cliched way. I think they're just having fun. So anyway, so again, it's sort of bringing her back to her old origins. You know, this is Kara Zor-El. It's Superman's cousin. She's from Krypton. She was also sent just before it exploded because her father, Clark's uncle, was also a scientist and believed his brother. Blah blah blah. And so she was actually older than Clark at the time. She was a teenager when she was sent, and when she arrives on Earth, she's a teenager. Of course, Clark arrived as a baby and grew up, so now he's older. So what we get here is Batman finding her, her being all confused and wide-eyed and not knowing what's going on, attacking the people around her. She's quickly brought down by Batman and Superman, brought back to the Batcave, where once again she starts to break free. But Superman's there, and then they have this whole exchange. Don't know how you can see that, but they have this whole exchange in Kryptonian, which we have no idea what's going on. But actually in the notes here at the end, we get that scene translated, so we get to know what they say, and it's very satisfying and makes a lot of sense. There's also a key there, I don't know if you can say it, at the bottom that actually shows us how to translate Kryptonian language into English, because there are other bits of Kryptonians throughout this arc that you can find, and I guess if you have infinite patience and dedication, you can you can translate and see what those other things mean. For me, this is just a headache I wouldn't get into. The print is also quite small. I'm sure if you look it up on the internet, you can find someone else that's already done it. So anyway, yeah, so it's sort of what you'd expect. Batman, of course, doesn't really trust her, says this girl could be from anywhere, you know, might be sent by our enemies. Superman, of course, wants to believe in her, wants to believe that he's not alone, wants to believe he has actual real family. And eventually, she's taken into custody by Diana, and stays on Paradise Island, where she makes friends and is trained by the Amazons. Darkseid spoils the party by sending out a bunch of clones of Doomsday, and she's abducted, and then the rest of the arc is about going back to Apocalypse and bringing her back. And it all ends pretty happily well enough, because the idea is bringing her into the the DC universe. Here she is, meeting with all the DC heroes. And then we just get a final shot of her resplendent in her uniform, taking on the guise of Supergirl, thanking everybody, and that's how it ends. I can't tell you why Supergirl appealed to me. I guess she appealed to me because I didn't know anything about her, except I thought she was, I thought she was cute. I liked how she looked. I liked her costume. I liked this little blonde in the, yeah. Anyway, and I got one thing I will say is, I don't know how her costume might have changed since then, but I like the short cape that she was sporting in the animated adventures. Here she has the full cape. Yeah, so I'm pretty much out of time. Thanks a lot for watching. Anyway, this is just like I was going to say, a precursor. I might really be considering buying the Supergirl title, and I'll let you know how that goes. Thanks a lot. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.